The American Culture War Iceberg Explained Part 2. Hello everybody, this is the American Culture War Iceberg Explained Part 2. What we will be doing in this video is talking about battles and facts in the American Culture War, ranging from well-known to things that are extremely obscure and only a few people know about. Don't you want to be one of the only people that knows about the things on this video? Well, follow me across this epic journey, descending this iceberg at the shortest 2 months. So, come along for a political journey that will leave you well informed about every corner of politics. So, just join me as we delve into this iceberg. Let's get right to it, everybody. Layer 3, disturbance and emotional state. In this stage, it starts to become clear that things are not okay on this iceberg and in this video series. And maybe things are not as they seem. Maybe this isn't pure comedy. The golden calves of our culture start to rust, and what the reporters tell you might not be true. So if you're a sheep to the news, this might be an awakening sight. The light of knowledge starts shining into the cave of Plato. But the truth is about to get a little rougher and less simple. So I demand you stick around for an amazing sight. Ooh, the Epstein flight logs. This is gonna be one to start with. The Epstein flight logs are in reference to Jeffrey Epstein in his private island where he used to, sell children at. You reckon he did a sale? Like, ever? He did, like, a sale? Like, oh, we're marking this kid down from $15 to $8. You know, we're really oversupplying kids. Recently it was exposed that many prominent people were on this demon island. People like Leonardo DiCaprio on this island, you know, big names, just like I predicted it, because I'm right about everything. It hasn't been proven all these people did bad things on an island. I bet most of them just visited, you know, played some Nintendo, and didn't know about the slavery, which is what human trafficking is. But Leonardo DiCaprio, bro is not innocent in this. He's dating a 19-year-old at 49, not even half his age. Let's do some economics here. 49 minus 19 is 30. The 30 years apart. I remember seeing a YouTube comment that said, Leonardo dating a 19-year-old is like my boss paying me minimum wage. They would both go lower if it was legal. I agree. There's no way this man wasn't absolutely devious and duplicitous on that demon island. He was mischievous, downright demonic. Political figures like Donald Trump, Bill and Hillary Clinton were on the island as well, so we're getting a triple trouble here. So no matter who you were voting for 2016, you were putting a guy who liked kids in office. That's politics, baby. That's how it works. Which proves me right. There is no such thing as the political party or side where all the creeps are. Getting as hard as titanium or Dark Souls whenever you are near a playground, that's bipartisan, baby. Believing your favorite celebrity is the holy messiah, bringing songs of the heavens to earth, and that they can do no wrong, that's how you end up with a backroom of a church with Father Michael. Side note, I don't believe Chris Pratt likes little boys, but he may be a serial killer instead of a creep, you know? You know, he gives that vibe, because, like, I really hope we get less Bill Cosby's, you know? But we get more O.J. Simpsons out of Hollywood, you know? It's so boring seeing creep allegation. Let me just see a murder charge instead of a fondling a little girl charge. Please, pretty please, that'd be so cool. Sam Brinton. Sam Brinton used to be the head of the nuclear department of the Biden administration. Why did I say that in a country accent? I don't know. Sam Brinton is known for being an absolute creep, absolutely devious and spontaneous in his malevolent actions, and a leather pup enthusiast. He does his leather stuff, well, out and open as a government official, which, like, I'm not shaming you for doing that. It's just that you're a government official. You are deciding how the nukes are handled. At least keep, that type of stuff secret, like how Mike Johnson does. Mike Johnson, the Demon King. Sam Brinton has also been proven to steal girls' luggage and wear girls' luggage. Ew. Has anybody noticed how creep allegations are changing lately? Used to be, oh, he did this or that. No, now these celebrity creeps are evolving to be absolutely unorthodox in nature. Do not search up the Vosh files or Sugar Conroy controversy. Do not. Eventually all these creepy stories about Sam Brinton piled up until this dragon was slain and he was excommunicated from the government. That's how I view corrupt millionaires, as literal dragons from RPGs. Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson is a Republican politician of Louisiana and advocates for covenant marriage, a more biblical and tough and rough version of marriage. He also does not believe that gay couples deserve marriage. He is the Speaker of the House for the Republicans as of me writing this entry. Before entering politics, Mike Johnson was indeed a lawyer. I imagine that this is where he got his argumentative and speaking skills from. Also, I love to just say this, nobody else has said this, but Mike Johnson also sounds like he has a permanent cold whenever he speaks. Like, legit. He sounds like how I sound when I have a cold, bruh. Also, speaking about that, Hall's cough drops are goated. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, when I was a kid, Hall's cough drops tasted like cinder blocks. Oh, you can only have them when you're sick. Hall's cough drops are goated. I'm trying to tell you this. I'm trying to speak some sense to you. Hall's cough drops taste better than 95% of normal candies. Shame that you can't have them when not sick. I know, I'm just a creep. I'm just a weirdo. I hope you got that musical reference. And if you did, you're goated. Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer is nasty and the inventor of the term alt-right, a branch off the conservative mainstream that's more radical than normal conservatism. Richard Spencer was always known to be a white supremacist, or at least adjacent to it. That's why I think he's nasty. There was still some slight doubt until he got punched while making a speech. He then had a private talk with somebody, I assume, where he discussed how his people, those black people, those, don't say it, Richard Spencer, don't call him that, Richard Spencer, how he will humiliate them, and how his race is superior to them. He is the Ubermensch with his 5'11" body and his scruffy beard that he can't seem to grow. He then lost all his popularity and people stopped talking about Richard Spencer, that absolute clown. The Breakfast Club did a donkey of the day on Richard Spencer, and man, it is some of the best podcasting that you will ever listen to. Go watch it. That's the best way to defeat someone. To just not talk about Richard Spencer. Well, I'm technically reviving him, but I'm a small channel. Nobody watches me once. Then Richard Spencer will go away because nobody cares. Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles is the host of the Daily Wire show known as, well, The Michael Knowles Show. He's known for his extravagant personality with high levels of charisma, would pass various skill checks, probably has high dexterity as well. I don't know, I haven't played Mass Effect. I'm playing through Yakuza, I don't know. He used to be a normal actor before getting fired from his job, and then he joined the Daily Wire. His motto is to be normal. He clearly brings, a more authoritative, right approach to his politics as opposed to the more libertarian conservative Matt Walsh. If you want to know the difference between authoritarian conservatives, libertarian conservatives, the difference between liberal and leftist, you have to watch part 1. Please, pretty please. Michael Knowles is the more dominant when it comes to what sector of conservatism he belongs to. Another thing Michael Knowles is known for is loving pumpkin spice lattes every time they come out. Always having one in the fall. Sucks that people call him gay over his love of that drink, okay? Accusing people of being gay is accusing somebody of farting. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. I'm the straightest dude you'll ever know, and I got repressed dudes that seriously think I'm gay. No joke. There's this one dude in my friend group. Okay, you're probably watching this. I probably sent you this, and I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I know what you are. I know what you are. Stop projecting. We know you're projecting. Okay, the jokes are still funny, though. Okay, you can still keep telling them. I got funny friends. Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is a political commentator for the Daily Wire. Matt Walsh is known for being very anti-trans, taking the award of Transphobe of the Year, and being extremely proud of it. His show was recently banned from YouTube, at least his full uploads, instead choosing to put his full videos on Twitter, some clips on YouTube, and making his show free on the Daily Wire. His personality is very dry, very serious. Imagine a comedy show where the straight man character is the main character, and now you have his show. I actually started this channel because I had a problem with his show, which is, it was just very depressing. I stopped tuning into his show regularly because, man, the news is just depressing, especially his. It felt so bleak seeing new bad things happen, the newest corpses, the newest tragedy, and everything else. It could hurt any soul watching the news every day. It could make any man go mad. That's why I started the channel. To use like an anime analogy, to be the Gurren Lagann to Matt Walsh's Evangelion, okay? I will succeed! Anyways, moving on. Why did I make that analogy? Nikki Haley! To make this actually interesting, right? We're gonna do this like in a British accent. Nikki Haley is a Republican running for the election in 2024 against President Joe Biden. She's the ambassador for United Nations and has gained zero popularity amongst any political bodies because she's become, well, nothing. She brings nothing to the table, and no, she isn't the table, unlike what most women say. She also got into some hot water by saying, America was never racist. That was my best Nikki Haley impression. You cannot make me do more. Like, America was never racist? Really? 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 really. The only thing that stands out about her is, like, she possesses, like, an extra X chromosome, which is still something people find unique, even after the stunt with Hillary in, like, 2016. Oh, crikey, nobody listens to a darn thing anymore. Nobody remembers from history, Mike. That's it. Nikki Haley is just like a Republican Hillary Clinton. I don't like Nikki Haley. This is why I don't like Republican politicians. Chris Christie is the next member keep that in, of the Elite Four of 2024 failures. And reasons I don't like politicians is Chris Christie. His name is fun to say. So Chris Christie, he had many positions. Here are not an exhaustive list, but like a good list of roles he had. Chair of Substance Abuse Commission, Republican Governors Association, United States Attorney District of New Jersey, and the Morris County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Probably more, but like, whatever. I used Wikipedia for this. Thank you, Wikipedia. Those are some of the positions he had, and he recently dropped out in support of Trump. Monday had Chris Christie. He also looks like the Mucinex mascot. Identical. Creepily the same. Alright. Vivek Ramaswamy, V-neck Salami, was running for the 2024 election before dropping out in support of Trump. V-Bucks Calamari wanted to lower taxes, putting more money into the pockets of Americans. Valence Electron's Pizza Toppings also believes that America is falling victim to quote-unquote secular religion, such as COVIDism. COVIDism is the ideology of preparation at all costs for the pandemic, including things such as hoarding toilet paper. Another secular religion, according to Veering Rob Swami, is climatism. Climatism is the preparation and fear of climate change, thinking the world will end in 20 years. Last belief, an ideology that Wilhelm Salami believes is a secular religion, is gender ideology, which is what conservatives call the transgender movement. When he refers to something as a secular religion, he and the rest of the Conservative Party are referencing how devoted you must be to be considered, well, a true follower. One wrong misstep and they will be biting your ankles and you will be banished from Leftistville. For example, when a streamer I talked about in part 1, Vosh, questioned kids being around leather plate pride, his entire chat just had it out for him, thinking him to be the next coming of the Westboro Baptist Church, which is, well, why leftism is referred to as a religion by the right. Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida and attempted to run against Joe Biden in the 2024 election before dropping out in support of Donald Trump. He is known for being against sexual content in school libraries, drafting the Florida Parental Rights Bill / Don't Say Gay Bill, as referred to on the left, banning, LGBT discussions that are not age appropriate until, well, grade 4 or 5. What you need to know is he is really against this in school, but there is somebody who really doesn't like him, Donald Trump. So went Trump, absolutely just flapping gums, like yapping to a terminal degree, speaking fluent yap in these. Like, bruh, talking about how Ron DeSantis isn't advancing the party. Even though he signed one of the biggest bills for the party this decade. What are you talking about? Ron DeSantis is very controversial, even amongst Republicans, sparking debates on whether Republicans should or should not legislate around the culture war. What I'm discussing right now. Yay! Discussions of him have stopped since he left the race. Speaking about race, great segue, he had some peculiar, duplicitous, dubious, devilish, devious things to say about slavery. Yeah, the official Florida curriculum has stuff like the slaves benefited physically from slave labor. I'm gonna go crazy if somebody clips that. Yep. Speaking about the culture war, whenever I talk about this video I'm making to other people, I just say, I'm talking about things only matter to internet people. Oh, what was my life? This statue, the MLK Embrace statue in, I think New York. Pop off incoming. This is not a drill. This statue is based off the legendary photo of MLK embracing his wife after winning the Nobel Prize. Now, they made a statue based off the photo. Do you think they A, made a statue of the two embracing each other, B, put two statues or even just busts of the two next to each other, C, made some interpretive art piece where if you are not told, you don't know it's trying to recreate the photo? It's C! Why? Why not just go with options 1 or 2? You didn't have to make it this way. You had a concept for a beautiful statue that would have made New York a better place to look at. But no, there's alright, New York, we're gonna make it look worse. Why? It's just a beautiful concept. Then you start picking your nose and shove snot up your rectum right at the finish line. I have a dangerous conspiracy theory that the leader of this project was secretly a Klan member trying to disrespect MLK with this statue. They tarnished my man's. They tarnished my man's name with this statue. How? How do you do this? Bruh, you don't... 2D political compass. The 2D political compass is an evolution of the simple Democrats and Republicans binary. This divides things into 2 axes. One is your stance on freedom. Should humanity be free to explore itself, seizing hold of its own destiny and identity? Or should it be restrained, or societal walls being up for a good reason to keep the ruin out? Authoritarian or libertarian? Then is... Are you leftist or conservative? These 2 questions will put you on one of 4 squares: an authoritarian leftist, an authoritarian conservative, a libertarian leftist, and a libertarian conservative. Also the center. This is where we need to make the distinction between liberal and leftist. You can be none or both. Leftism is a separate political ideology from libertarianism, although leftism borrows some elements from libertarianism. You can still be one without being the other, but in America politics, they effectively mean the same thing in casual conversation, basically monkeys and apes. So, for example, Stalin was a leftist, but not a liberal, short for libertarian. Adam Smith, the, progenitor of modern mainstream capitalism, he was a liberal, but not a leftist. To understand these 4 quadrants, I'll help you understand them through the lens of video game characters. That's right, we're going to video games to explain a 2D political compass. First off, the authoritarian left. Edelgard from Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Hey, her color scheme is even red, so, yeah, that matches more with the authoritarian left. She will, in her words, Edelgard von Edmund will liberate her people, even if she needs to do it by force and oppression of the previous oppressors, through radical revolutionary means. Now, for the authoritarian right. Male, strong heart from the Great Ace Attorney. Oh, spoilers for all these games. He is an authoritarian right because he carries out his acts through the judicial system, only wandering through the dark, using his authority to preserve the system at all costs, preserving his society, his world, the use of authoritarian ethic. Now for the libertarian left. Claude from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Yeah, Claude. Fire Emblem Three Houses has good examples of each political philosophy. You should go play it if you have a Nintendo Switch. It's really good. But that's for later. Claude desires to liberate his people from oppression and racism, saying that in his unique route in the game many times. Eliminating racism and oppression is the goal. Through freeing his people, not by authoritarianism, but through freedom. Now, for the libertarian right. Andrew Ryan from BioShock. The most obvious of them all. If you think libertarian right and you're a gamer, you're probably thinking Andrew Ryan. I'll just play his cutscene.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, rapture can become your city as well.
So yeah, that does it for this very long-winded explanation of the 2D political compass. Yakuza. This iceberg entry refers to a YouTuber named Yongye being cast for the role of Kazuma Kiryu. What? I'll be doing a Kiryu voice for this entry. So, Yongye is a guy who does video game news on his channel, doing it in a very monotone voice, yeah. The Yakuza franchise is a game series all about the Japanese criminal underworld. It's a crime drama that used to be an action game, but is now a turn-based RPG to go along with its new protagonist. The protagonist of most of the Yakuza games, until 7, is a man named Kazuma Kiryu. As of infinite wealth, he is a near 60-year-old man with cancer. Kiryu is the most masculine character in gaming, out of doubt. Just the coolest dude in all video games. You cannot get cooler than Yakuza 0. We got the car chases, we got the action, we got the boat battles, burning boat battles after car chases across the longest strip of road in the entire earth. Really cool, crazy plot points, fighting so many dudes at once. So cool. Okay, now I'm starting to sound a little sus describing Kiryu. Controversy raised when people remembered that Yongye didn't fit the role. Did not fit the role I described, at all. Of the shirtless car chase guy. Yongye does not fit that role. People despised the English dub, many opting for the Japanese dub, which is always coded, no matter the Yakuza game. I think Yongye is one of the worst that could have been picked for this role. They could not find a worse guy. There's another character in the game that would fit his voice and personality. The main character's sidekick, You Nandapa. I'd choose Kiryu's voice actor. I'd go for Kurt Angle. That'll end this entry. Show the clip. Show it.
For one thing, you're a boy in a man's world. And I'm a man who loves to play with boys.
Alright, Adam22. Adam22 is the host of a podcast known as No Jumper, and is also an adult male film star. He's gotten himself into a spotlight after letting a black man sleep with his adult film star wife. The internet gathered around and mocked him for being cuckolded, which is quite based in my opinion, but what's more important is that he was using this stunt to cover up accusations of him being an EDP. We're on to you, Adam22. I haven't investigated the allegations myself. They could be true, they could be not. This is all alleged. But, like, the theory's still there. Neopronouns. Alright, we got to this one. Neopronouns are gender pronouns that aren't he, him, or she, her. Some people put these in their bios for some reason. These contain ZZ, herself, EE, herself, ZZim, thyself, per, self, needhim, near, self, and more. Who uses these? I am convinced that these neopronouns are an alt-right troll attempt to satirize the left. You can't tell me otherwise. A lot of the people on the right, a lot of people who are very hopeless and are on the right are like, everybody nowadays is walking around with neopronouns. The West has fallen. Everyone calls themselves a cat nowadays, except for me. No! No! This isn't how the world is! You know who's the ones using the You know who's using the neopronouns, the needimners? People on the internet! People who don't go outside! Okay? It's just trolls on the internet. And just rare cases. That's why the news reports on them. Because they're rare. Okay? Not everybody's walking around calling themselves a potato. Just go outside! Please! It's nice out. Go outside. Finish this video first before you go outside, but still. Neopronouns are way more uncommon than you think. Alright, alleged Asian discrimination on the left. This refers to college affirmative action decreasing the chance that, well, high-performing Asians get into colleges because, well, performed too well. You know, to make space for black people to get in using affirmative action. This whole practice of affirmative action, especially nowadays, is messed up for reasons I hope are obvious, right? You know? Clarence Thomas has tried to get rid of affirmative action in a few states, so that's, well, at least something. Alright, fourth time recording this entry. On Trump's gay debate. This has been a debate that has left its mark in the culture war and meme culture on the internet. This is a big discussion amongst people who have too much time, but let's discuss it. This debate revolves around a specific anime archetype known as the Tramp. This is a male character that looks extremely similar to a woman. The debate is it gay to be attracted to it? Some people say no, because, well, it looks extremely similar, and it's a fictional character, so you can just say anything you want. Sometimes they're even voice acted by women. Some people say yes, because it's another man, and you're a dude. That's the correct answer. Like objectively, scientifically. Come on. Man, some people is really projecting. Harkening back to the times people call me sus over the slightest things. Well, we have people like this. Projectors, I'm telling you. Think of it like a mimic from Dragon Quest. Looks exactly like the treasure. Looks exactly like the prize. And gobbles you up when you get close. That was oh, man. That is it for Layer 3. Layer 3 was a trip. At this point, you're starting to understand a little more about the culture war and its absurdities. That's gonna be the theme, absurdity. You gotta peer behind the curtain. If you can make it through the second half, you saw too much. You saw too much information behind the curtains. You gotta see everything now, yeah, boy, you do. In Layer 4 and beyond, you will see a lot more ideas and a lot less people of events. High minds think of ideas, medium minds think of events, and low minds, they think of people. So, not a lot of specific people, unless they're like really obscure, will pop up later into the iceberg. I don't remember who either Plato or Aristotle said this, like one of those two said it. We will need this advice of high minds, low minds, and medium minds heading into Layer 4, my guys. Layer 4, seeing behind the curtain. Things about to get a lot more dark and obscure, like a little more hefty. So viewer discretion kind of advised. If you have a weak stomach, kind of, you can click off if you want. You know, so this will be the layer that I'll have to start getting a little bit more vague about the subject matter I cover, and instead of saying the actual topic names that would get this video suppressed in any shape, way, or form, I will instead describe them in an overly verbose Shakespearean way, because I had to endure Shakespeare for my college prep English class, and now I'm taking it out on you. Like a husband who just came back from a bad day of work. So, without any further ado, let's get it! Oh, this is how you start a Leia. 41% is the reported rate for which trans people choose to, you know, cut themselves off from this plane of existence / reality by their own hands, I guess you could say. And, you know, it is a subject that a lot of people have experience with, themselves or their friends have attempted, and I'd like to say here that I do not condone that behavior. You shouldn't. You should seek out a trusted professional if you are having these thoughts, you know. And political parties from both sides have proposed their own solution to this. Now, do these solutions involve actually sticking by your friends and, you know, giving them, you know, some good advice when they're down, or getting them help? No, it involves voting Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Yeah. That's how we're gonna fix this. Getting our guys in office. We gotta get the guys in office, because those are the people that are gonna solve it, which it won't. Both the left and the right use this subject to like gain political brownie points, so I kind of find that like a bit like absurd to use like such an unrelated and personal subject matter as a reason for why you should vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. I find that absurd. It's us, the people, that will help the situation. Destiny ruined. There is a streamer that used to be on Twitch named Destiny, who is known for being a leftist politics streamer who does debate and commentary content. One day, Destiny, the streamer, became quite controversial when he started debating capitalism, fighting socialists and communists and support capitalism. He continued to debate very controversial topics, debating both far left and right. Eventually, he'd get banned for hateful conduct. People speculate this was because his debate with Nick Fuentes, who will be covered later on in this iceberg, we'll get to him, a white supremacist. He didn't even agree with Nick Fuentes. It's just his aura of him being president killed his account, alright? And even though Nick Fuentes' aura was there and was strong enough to get his account banned, his aura is not on the level of Playboy Cardi's aura. Let me get that straight. I do not support Nick Fuentes. Mr. Electric, Destiny had somebody people don't like on his stream to debate them. Send him to the soul extraction chambers and have him hollowed immediately. In 2024, the current year as I am writing this, I am definitely not getting this done in 2024, he has been directly divorced and left for another man in Sweden, land of the Gigachads, one of the only European countries that isn't the most estrogen-filled place on Earth, alright? The couple was infamous for Destiny just letting Destiny his wife was just allowed to just sleep with any man she wanted to. Eventually, all the other men became better than Destiny for her, and she was gone. People on the internet widely mocked Destiny for the divorce. Every place on the internet was just clowning him for the circumstances that led to his divorce. Probably even, I don't know, ordersilverkitchenutensils.com had some people commenting on the situation, making jokes about him. Like, oh yes, here's a very good fork right here. It's very valuable. It's quite antique, actually, so you want to preserve it. But also, did you hear about Destiny? Bro got passed over for a big, strong Swedish dude. He got absolutely Adam 22'd by PewDiePie. So yeah, that's it for this admittedly funny entry and quite the departure from the last one. Pepe controversy. This controversy is about a green cartoon frog named Pepe the Frog. He is a staple in meme culture, but he has been deemed an alt-right dog whistle by the left because a few newt-zoots, fascists, and white supremacists co-opted the symbol. Keep that in. People debated whether or not the Pepe meme should be used. People decided yes, despite the stupid people who really want the symbol to be exclusively their thing. Milk white supremacy. This refers to a very desperate attempt by animal activist corporation PETA to get people to stop drinking milk by claiming that milk is a white supremacist symbol. The logic goes that white supremacists like milk, and if you like it, you also support white supremacy and, more importantly, animal torture. This attempt by PETA is literally, hey, hizzy, drank water. So, if you drink water, you're a newt zoo. So, L plus ratio plus Godwin's law. The OK hand controversy. Oh man, this is one of the dumber parts of the culture war. But I will go through the pain of talking about stupid things on the internet to catalog everything. You have to subscribe at this point, okay? Legally mandated now. The controversy goes like this. It started out as a 4chan meme where people would go on Twitter and pretend like, oh yeah, the OK hand, that was always a symbol for white supremacy. Basically gaslighting the public and telling one of those big lies where if you tell it enough, it'll come true. The 3 fingers representing the W and the curled fingers and arm representing the P. Many people did this unironically as a pledge to white supremacy, which made the controversy even dumber. What makes this even more dumber. Some leftists thought the OK hand was, the gesture that, no matter the context, was a white supremacy thing. Seeking the imminent destruction of this hand gesture. It sucks that a baller hand gesture was corrupted by a controversy like this, but the controversy has blown over, and if you use the OK hand signal in most scenarios, you're gonna be fine. Alright, the world isn't that cancel happy just to go outside. Politically incorrect board /poll/ or politically incorrect is the name of a discussion board on a site named 4chan. If you don't know, 4chan is a board where people from all walks of life come together to discuss topics like video game, botany, and hating minorities. 4chan is one of those less heavily moderated places on the internet, so people can go absolutely wild. A place where people go especially crazy for cuckoo puffs on 4chan is the politically incorrect board, also known as the /poll/ board. It is a board all about being politically incorrect, what it says on the tin. I request that you go on these boards and see the stuff posted on here. Most people will tell you it's all the most horrific things on there, describing it like they're talking about Cthulhu or Azathoth or Yog-Sothoth or Chubba. Moving on, agreed. There are some of those horrific people on the board, but most of it is people just talking about the news. But there will be some people who just come out of nowhere and just say the most buck wild things, ruining your day every now and then. Just absolute random encounters that just say some things that are just vile. But hey, that's internet, and also all of real life as well. But that's the minority. So, that's it for this entry. Filthy Frank. Filthy Frank was a comedic content creator making edgy humor skits in the mid-2010s on YouTube. His style of humor influenced many content creators to, eventually pick up his style and make similar jokes to him. He was one of the most famous on the platform until he gave up unexpectedly and became the pop star you see today, Joji. He is famous for Pink Guy, making comedy music, and making very funny discussion videos. This was done because he just, didn't have the fire to make edgy and dark humor sketches anymore, so he kind of quit. Also, the issue of demonetization, which led him to go down different paths of content creation, like pop music. Short Fat Otaku / Dev. This references a popular content creator with the username Short Fat Otaku. I'll just call him Dev for the rest of this video because that's a nickname he goes by. He primarily makes political and gaming content with a comedic tone to it all. He is actually, fun fact, an inspiration to this channel, like a big inspiration to this channel, like a really big one. Alright, on my mama, that was not a reference to his weight. That was purely an accident. Occasionally he does stream games with his companions. He also makes frequent appearances on Adam and Sitch as well as other podcasts. He's the darn podcast wanderer. The sailor of the podcast sea, you could say. He makes really good content, and I really want you to check him out. He makes content extremely similar to mine. If you liked my content, you would love his videos. He makes the style of my videos, but he does it better, honestly. Dimitri Monroe. Dimitri Monroe is a name of YouTuber who discusses politics and its relation to entertainment, mainly video games and anime. From time to time, he also streams his reactions to game announcements and does reviews on games like Sonic the Hedgehog Frontiers. When it comes to politics, he leans to the right. Lately, he has begun discussing localization and translation in the anime industry. So, interesting. I recommend him. Jordan Peterson, license revoked. This refers to Jordan Peterson, a Canadian psychologist, getting his license to practice psychology revoked over the opinions he expressed on Twitter. Jordan Peterson, if you don't know who he is a self-help content creator who was really good at what he did before mentally deteriorating as his life, fell. He posted many controversial tweets over his tenure on Twitter, covering topics like the fat acceptance movement, the trans movement, and more. The Ontario Psychology Board, or something like that, ordered him to take a few correctional courses, right? Or else he would be disbarred. Oh, I just love Canadian, man. Oh yeah, you might some not so nice tweets, eh? Maybe you should take this course and not being so rude, or we will fire ya from the field you don't even practice anymore, Jordan, because this is Canadian, right? Certified Canada moment. Alright, mate. Paul Pelosi hammer time. If you don't know, there's a popular politician named Nancy Pelosi who has a husband named Paul Pelosi. One day, a nudist broke into his house with a sledgehammer. I don't even think the sledgehammer dude was motivated by like an alternative ideology. It was just crazy, mate. He was a loon, a proper loon. Too much Guinness, mate. People speculate if this arrangement was a secret love affair, but there was a lack of evidence supporting the case. Despite its interesting premise, the case is kind of bare bones, and yeah, that's it for this entry, mate. On to the next one, chum. Why I left the left. Very rare. This references a phenomenon of people who were previously with the left. Well, leaving the left, just as it says on the label. Reasons for leaving the left include getting cancelled or otherwise abandoned, or just not agreeing with the political party anymore. Why I put why I left the left on here, not why I left the right on here, is it's not that it's even less common for somebody to leave the right. Why both of these occurrences are very rare is because, well, people just stick to their ideas. They just have ideas early in life instilled into them by their environment or certain experiences they had, and they usually just don't change at all. Like, for example, like in an RPG class, like, are you, like, midway through your playthrough just gonna realign your stats? No! You're gonna pick a class and you're probably gonna stick to it, like in most RPGs. Remember, life RPG. So, yeah, people are usually unwilling to change their mind, even on something like how Fruit Loops are spelled. It's actually spelled with, well, 2 O's. Yeah, Fruit with 2 O's. Forspoken. This is in reference to a 2023 video game where you play as a girl named Frey who lives in New York as a local thug before being transported to another world. From there, it's just a normal anime isekai, with most isekai tropes being put in apart from all the creepy ones. So, I guess you could say Forspoken is kind of like Sword Art Online, but black. Well, the plots are very different, but they're both isekai, and that's a funny sentence. Forspoken has also received quite the blowback from being, well, very unfunny with its attempts of humor. Like, as funny as, 10 puppies getting just squashed by a hydraulic press while Ed Sheeran plays in the background, or Dead Sheeran. The gameplay was very by the numbers, quite standard from AAA. Most people just kind of forgot about Forspoken, with its time in the spotlight only being so long, and not just tossed into the other AAA excretion, is because of its involvement in the American Culture War. The reason it got involved is because the ongoing, absolute, boiling, erupting hatred towards a certain type of writing that people just find absolutely abhorrent. Well, that just happened, my friend knows type of writing seen in things like modern Marvel, Rick and Morty, and Big Bang Theory. The most famous type of guy for this sarcastic, millennial type writing is a guy by the name of Joss Whedon, or something like that. He was the guy behind Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was real popular. It's a real disaffected type of comedy that just doesn't make people laugh as much nowadays, because people were getting too tired of irony. We need something authentic, unironic, you know? You tell the same joke over and over again, and just people don't like it. Stop telling the same exact joke over and over again. It's annoying. It's on my nerves. It makes me go livid. It makes me throw my poop at the walls. It makes me scream at Joe Biden, who's hiding in my floorboards, and Richard Nixon, who is following me everywhere I go. It's nuts. Chihiro Fujisaki. I've been waiting for this entry. Alright. Why I've been waiting so long for this entry. Chihiro Fujisaki from the Danganronpa series. One of my favorite fictional characters of all time. My 10th favorite, to be specific. See, what you need to know before we can get into the, well, culture war aspect of this character, you'll need to know a little bit of context about her character before we can get well informed on the debate. This character is from the Danganronpa series. How the game works is that around 16 high school students are trapped and put into one building. All 16 of these students are literally the best in the entire planet when it comes to their talent. We have Leon Kawada, the ultimate baseball star. There's Saika Mizono, the ultimate pop star. And then here's the subject, Chihiro Fujisaki, the ultimate programmer. In the story of Danganronpa, the students are trapped in a high school where they cannot escape, except for one method of escape from the prison they've been put in: to kill another student and be put through trial, where, if the killer is guessed correctly, the culprit is deemed the Blackened, and then is never seen again. If the students unanimously guess wrong, the culprit walks free while the student rots away. You know, each chapter has two parts to it. A normal part where everybody lives a normal life, and it switches to a murder case where you have to solve a crime in order to win, to prove people's innocence while convicting the true guilty party. In each game, this happens around 6 times. This is where we get into spoilers if you don't want them. Check out Danganronpa if you want to. It's on like most modern platforms. It's cool. In Chapter 2, the victim of murder is Chihiro Fujisaki. Now, this is where we get into the culture war aspect of this character. The how and why Chihiro Fujisaki was murdered. During the trial segment, your detective sidekick to the main protagonist, named Kyoko Kirigiri, notices something. For reasons that, well, make sense in context, it takes even longer to explain that. There's some inconsistencies between Chihiro Fujisaki being a woman and the facts at hand about the case. The trial takes a brief break and goes to check under Chihiro's skirt. Finds out that this character was a guy the entire time. Sorry. We aren't done with how this plot twist probably ruffled a few feathers on Twitter just yet. After the entire case is complete, it is revealed that the killer is none other than the ultimate biker gang leader, Mondo Owada. The reason Mondo Owada killed Chihiro Fujisaki is because Chihiro Fujisaki opened up to Mondo Owada about being a guy the entire time and wanting to train to survive the killing game and grow as a person. Chihiro Fujisaki presented as a girl because he never was accepted presenting male. Mondo Owada was jealous that Chihiro Fujisaki could open up about himself and then killed him. This insecurity of Mondo Owada's started when he got into a biker accident with his brother that led to his brother's death. After the murder of Chihiro, one of the antagonist characters, named Byaku Yatogami, the ultimate affluent progeny, then defiles Chihiro's corpse by using a library extension cord to string up his corpse while rearranging evidence. This is done to make things harder on the other characters. Now that I've explained the case, we can finally get into the controversy. First point of interest, that was a question asked on Twitter, which is just a great place to be all the time. Is Chihiro Fujisaki trans? The definitive answer is no. If you can read, you can read. The answer is no. People decide they want to transition because they don't want to be the gender they are. Chihiro always wanted to be a boy, never wanting it to be a woman. So, they're wrong. Twitter's wrong. Shocker. What next? Grass green. Second point of controversy is this game anti-trans? No, again, the topic being discussed here, if you actually paid attention and read, the actual topic being discussed in the case is masculinity in society. The point it tries to make is the comparison of the positively masculine between the positively masculine and the negatively masculine. Chihiro is portrayed as positively masculine, trying to better himself for the sake of being good to others in society. Mondo Owada, the ultimate biker gang leader, is portrayed as negatively masculine, raging at every inconvenience and taking a man's life because his masculinity was questioned. So no, the trans topic is not getting debated in this chapter of the game. The rest is just normal anime femboy discourse, nothing special. We'll gradually tackle all the different facets of that discourse later. Alright, that'll be the third longest entry on this iceberg. So, in conclusion, this is a go-to character. Wait, Rin, Catherine Full Body. I have a way too long segment written on this, so I'm just gonna try and keep things brief. This iceberg entry refers to a character named Rin from the game Catherine Full Body, a character that caused a culture war debate. If you don't know, Catherine Full Body is a puzzle game about a man named Vincent Brooks. Basically, he's in rough relationship times, picking between the path of marriage and kids and the path of pleasure, represented by two women. The standard marriage path being represented by Catherine with a K, and the adultery and hedonism path being represented by Catherine with a C. And because of these rough times, he has been placed in a special little tower in his dreams where he has to solve block puzzles or he dies. There's a remake of the game called the Full Body Edition where they added a new character known as Rin. Everything seems normal, just your standard we added a new character in this re-release type character, just a standard cutesy little girl. Well, not little girl, because, you know, but you get what I'm saying. Well, that's not all she is. Turns out Rin is revealed to be a male somewhere within the story. Once this plot twist is revealed, our protagonist named Vincent gets quite violent and panicked about the situation. Many people complained about this, but I counter with, well, it's part of his characterization, to characterize him as not a good person who has to have his flaws, well, resolved throughout the story. Again, depicting hate crimes is not endorsing them. Twitter's an amazing place. I just love Twitter. That's why I'm totally on it. I totally have plans within the 300 years to get on Twitter. Yep. And a later plot reveal is that Rin is not just a boy, but a gay space alien. Yeah, from another planet. And also, gay space alien sounds like something I'd scream after a rough time in Mario Kart. But that aside, people then went to the classic discourse of, this is a male character in an anime that looks like a woman, ergo this is a trans woman, and blah 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 blah. This just comes from people who just can't read. People who sincerely want to be the other gender and people who just want to look like the other are entirely different. And let's end this entry by talking about the specific ending with Rin. The true ending with Rin involves you playing Tetris to defeat homophobic Satan. That's right, Satan's homophobic this time around, and he's the final boss. You just tell him that love is love, and then just go off into into space, and that's the end. See, that's how you end a video game. Only Atlas would do that. Shout out to Atlas. Oh, also, this very long entry is the shortened version, so yeah. So sorry for the monotone voice. It's like getting real late at the time of recording this, okay? I go through the struggle for you guys. The culture war battle surrounding Naruto Shirogane and overall Persona 4 just gaining steam on Twitter. Listen, one day Persona 4 Golden was released on Steam, which is a site where you buy computer games. So, it was introduced to the wider public and finally left its PS Vita prison. So, people knew more about it. Yay! But Twitter knew more about it. Aww. So, that's how we get the culture or attack on Persona 4 Golden we see in this entry, primarily focusing around Naoto Shirogane. Basically, to summarize things, Persona 4 Golden is a game where the sides of themselves that people do not want to see show up on television, and then the person who has that negative side is then thrown into the TV, and you have to go save them by making them accept their shadow through combat, and then you save the day with your RPG pals. That's the basic gist of Persona 4. Well, the 5th dungeon revolves around Naoto Shirogane, the detective prince, who is revealed to be a woman that Mulan style pretends to be a man in order to get employment at the local police force. Again, cue the Twitter activist who didn't even play the game saying she's trans and something like that. Yes, basically the same thing that played out with Rin, the character we saw last entry on this iceberg happened here. And so, that concludes it. Alright, baby! 4 more entries left to go, and then we're done here for the day. So, maps. Ooh, this is gonna be one to cover. This is a Twitter movement that has nothing to do with cartography, by the way. It's actually an acronym. An acronym for what exactly? Minor Attracted Person. Also known as a child predator. These absolute fiends tried to gain acceptance on the left, trying to align themselves with the LGBT. Initially, the left rejected them to not solely the name of the LGBT. Then we started to see the acceptance of those freaks bubble up on the left. Show a clip here if I can find it. So here is some clips. True Evil.
I use the term minor attracted person or MAP in the title and throughout the book for multiple reasons. First of all, because I think it's important to use terminology for groups that members of that group want others to use for them. And MAP advocacy groups like Before You Act have advocated for use of the term MAP. They've advocated for it primarily because it's less stigmatizing than other terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender. And that isn't true, and it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attractions toward minors. I've definitely heard the idea that you brought up, though, that the use of the term minor attracted person suggests that it's okay to be attracted to children. But using a term that communicates who someone is attracted to doesn't indicate anything about the morality of that attraction. And non-offending MAPs, by definition, do not abuse children, so their behaviors are moral. But they're still being subjected to this same idea that they're bad people. Stigma against MAPs is a problem in part because it makes MAPs think that they're monsters. That's really problematic in terms of MAP well-being. It's really hard to cope when you think you're a terrible person because you have attractions that you can't change.
Hate them all. Just hate all of them. This is not something that should be accepted. Am I alt-right for saying that traumatizing little girls is wrong? Am I with the Klan because I think being a child predator is bad? Is that the political climate? Is that the thing that has to be debated now? This is, I guess you could say, this is some absolute virtual insanity. Yeah, I will be saying the words virtual insanity 10,000 more times throughout this iceberg, because that's what the American Culture War is on Twitter. So, back to the maps discussion, or the child predator discussion. Oh boy. Come on. Are we really gonna have these people trying to ally themselves with the left? They shouldn't, because that's gonna just have the right say, oh yeah, all gay people like this. The gay guy I know down the street, oh yeah, he likes little boys, definitely. So no matter which way you slice it, nobody benefits here. We all lose. I'm going insane. So in conclusion, it's over, bros. It's over. The West has fallen. The Twitch Dear Girl from the Trust and Safety Council. This refers to a controversy that feels like it dates back to the Dark Ages. Twitch one day showed off its Trust and Safety team, the people who would be managing what you would and would not be allowed to see on the platform. One of the members of the council of people who will decide your fate is named Ferociously Steph. She is a woman who thinks she is a deer. She even flaunted the fact that she could use her power to make everyone agree with her. And if you don't have an exact replica of her personality and politics, then guess what? You're donezo. You're finito. Complete. Done. Dead. Stone shoes. People were quite upset that somebody making such major decisions was somebody of this high insanity. People were quite upset, bro. Quite upset. She is one of those people that wants to turn the internet into a kiddie playground. What? You can't, discuss dark subject matter in, explicit terms on YouTube. So you have to say stuff like unalive on YouTube. How? Why? For the 6-year-olds using YouTube? You already have kiddie versions of these platforms. You have YouTube. So why do you have YouTube Kids when you're already making platform completely neutered? My least favorite thing about YouTube is how over the years, to appeal to advertisers, this website has basically become a Mormon Bible study camp instead of a website where you are allowed to just say what you want. I mean, it is a church when you really think about it. EDPs and child creeps do run the place, so I guess it has another similarity with a church. So yeah, that was a tangent about the Twitch Trust and Safety Council and the crazy people who run it. Hey, at least I admit to being crazy. Alright guys, I had an original script written for this, but I didn't like the script, so now I'm gonna wing it, just because. Alright, so toxic masculinity is a topic brought up in culture clashes frequently, especially in the next topic we're going to discuss, the final one. It's the idea of just a bad man, an alcoholic who just clobbers the daylights out of his life. The brute drunkard is basically the idea behind this definition, to give you the summary of it. There's a lot of just incorrect opinions about the subject of overly angry brute men. There's people on the left who say, oh yeah, all men are like this, and all men should be whimpering little servant. And there are people on the right, specifically men who get no play, being like, oh yes, this is what all men should be like, because women are trash, and don't talk to me, ever. Both sides have just bad opinions on this subject. What is the solution to this issue is to be a good man. Lift weights. Eat protein. Be there for your family. Be sincerely hardworking. Be honest. Be loving towards other people. That's the answer. None of this manosphere or anything else, alright? If you want a good example of masculinity in media, it'd be the Yakuza series. Cosmic Kiryu is what every man should aspire to be. honest, loving, caring, hardworking, cares for the people around him. Just a cool guy all around, and a good video game series. I recommend starting with either 0 or 1. So, yeah. Alright, this is the final entry, boys. So, let's put our all into this. Alright, the male loneliness discussion. To end part 2, we cover the male loneliness discussion in the culture war. Who's excited? It was a battle in the culture war that was trendy for a short while on politics YouTube, but has died down in recent times. The conversation centered around the rising rate of men with no friends and no girlfriend. Over time, less and less men have had active friend groups and girlfriends. At the same time, the evil red pill and black pill movements are growing at a rapid rate, encouraging men's inner resentment at a world that rejected them. Also, at the same time, more men lose hope because the only husband working, 2-child home becomes more unattainable as life becomes more expensive. People had many places to point blame. The economy for making the one working parent, 3 kids home very, difficult. Because, it's the government. People wanted to blame women for not dating enough men for some reason. People wanted to blame men for not being as best as they could be, not being 6 feet tall, because, of course, you should just learn to spawn different. Shoot on Head made an excellent video that really exploded this discussion into the mainstream. I agreed that it is not either of the two genders' fault, but something greater, that it lies with the individual to do something. Not everybody else, it's up to you. Apparently, this was misconstrued into being every ist and phobia you can imagine. People wouldn't even watch a 20 minutes long video just to keep hold of their own biases and insanity. It instead went on their mental attack spree in the replies, and a lot of issues of the rising loneliness are caused by the people who won't bridge political or gender lines to communicate. Truly, hell is other people, as you can see here. It's the other. Being unaccompanied in a large crowd is what being alone can sometimes feel like. Alright, I used to be there, but after a while, I gained a good friend group that I love to hang out with. Now, nobody's laughing now. Well, I don't believe all of this is doom and gloom. Maybe there's hope for you, but we all have a long road ahead of us. It's about to get scarier out here. So, that's the end of layer 4. We made it halfway through. Next time, we will go into even deeper, darker places and delve deeper into the human mind. Will you lose all faith in mankind next time? You decide. So please come back next time. This time we went pretty deep into the iceberg though. Charted the darkest corners. Well, not the darkest, because for next time, because things get a lot more interesting and obscure. You'll learn so many new things, and all you have to do is wait for next time. It's spring break for me right now, so yeah, I'll have a lot more time to be producing these certified old classics. Alright, hopefully you'll come back next time to enjoy an amazing video against its spring break. So let's go. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It's a nice way to show you enjoyed the video and you sacrifice literally nothing, guys. Now that we are halfway through, it's time for a little musical number to commemorate being halfway through. nice little stop period before we can continue next time. And what better song for the purpose of a halfway point than the song Thanatos, If I Can't Be Yours, from the movie End of Evangelion. May the song begin. Now it's time, I fear to tell, I've been holding it back so long, but something strange deep inside of me is happening. I feel unlike I've never felt, and it's making me scared that I may not be what I think I am. Ooh, yeah, let's go. What of us? What do I say? Oh, we both from a different world. 'Cause every breath that I take, I breathe it for you. I couldn't face my life without you, and I'm so afraid. There's nothing to comfort us. What am I if I can't be yours? Love this song. Love it. I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, Let's get it. I don't sleep, don't feel a thing, and my senses have all but gone. Can't even cry from the pain, can't shed a tear now. I realize we're not the same, and it's making me sad. 'Cause we can't fulfill our dream in this life. Ooh. So I must let us break free. I can never be what you need. If there was a way through the hurt, then I would find it. I'd take the blows, yes, I would fight it. But this is the one impossible dream to live. What am I if I can't be yours? Thank you! Cheers to another classic!